On behalf of myself and the committee, thank you for the hospitality. Very much appreciated. You know, a lot of people travel a lot of miles to get here today, and it's nice. You know, it's kind of shocking to see what you have up there. I was up there yesterday, and I said, wow, that's pretty interesting. And, you know, once again, on my behalf and on behalf of the committee, thank you very much.
Glad
Thank
to have
you.
you guys here.
Take a moment, go up and see it.
Thank you. We're going to go into introductions of the committee members now. Mr. De La Cruz, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate being here. Appreciate being here with you and the audience and the other members. I've got to tell you, I've never had the opportunity, the privilege to visit this facility. It appears to be really awesome. So yeah, I look forward to seeing it. My name is Representative De La Cruz. I am from House District 12, which is in Albuquerque, in an area that is commonly referred to as the South Valley. And of that geographical area, I represent roughly the middle of that valley. And so I always like to tell everyone, brag actually, that I am from the heart of the South Valley. So it's a pleasure. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I am from the heart of the state of New Mexico. Mr. Chairman, members, folks out there, and those on webcast, I am Representative Eliseo Lealcon. I represent parts of Cibola and McKinley County. In my district, I have 8.5 Navajo Net chapters, the whole Pueblo Zuni, and quite a few communities that I serve. It's an interesting district. I'm an old Vietnam veteran, and old Vietnam veterans have a habit of getting older. So I don't know what to tell you about that, but thank you everybody for hosting us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Debbie Sarignana. I represent House District 21 in Bernalillo County. In Albuquerque, I'm in the northeast, southeast quadrant of Albuquerque. If you know Albuquerque, I represent Manzano High School, that area. I was a teacher, a math teacher, and I was in the Air Force. And this committee is just perfect for me. I was here I think last year with the Education Committee, and the amazing things that teachers can do with the things you offer is wonderful. Online and different ways. I shared it with my science teachers, and they said they were going to get on. So hopefully they learned a lot from what you offer. So thank you, and thank you for hosting us today.
Next, we're going to go to Representative Block. And Mr. Block, if you would, introduce yourself. And, this is your district. If you want to say a few words, we'll be more than glad to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And you're right in the heart of the 51st District, which is probably the best district in the state, in my opinion. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's great to be home for a committee for a change, which is nice. I travel around the state and you see so many beautiful places, but it's good to be home. So I appreciate everyone for making the drive to Alamogordo to see what we have to offer, which is plenty. We've got a lot of cool stuff, including this great Space Hall of Fame museum. I mean, I've been through every single story of that thing and looked at every little artifact, and it is just so cool. It's a testament of what New Mexicans can do. And we're so blessed to have the Air Force Base right outside of town, which is unfortunately in Willie Madrid's district right now. So I'm like, maybe next time they'll put it back in mine. But it's the beating heart of our community and our county, and we are really blessed to have that as an investment by our government to show that they trust and they value New Mexico. And we're going to hear a lot more about Holloman, about White Sands Missile Range, and we'll also see all the good things that we have to offer in our district. We have the oldest zoo in the Southwest, the Alameda Park Zoo, which is very cool. If you like animals, go there. We don't have Mudang, but I really want him to come over, or her to come over, because I just love that, if you've been following Mudang online. So we've got everything that you could potentially ever want in a community. It's a great 30,000 people community. We've got a hospital. We've got many grocery stores. We've got so much culture and vision for the future. And I'm just so blessed to have everyone here. And I just can't wait to hear a little more about all the good things that we have to offer, because there are so many. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If you'd like to introduce yourself, Mr. Vice Chair.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. State Senator Harold Pope Jr., District 23, Northwest Albuquerque, Bernalillo County. Happy to be here. Happy to be in this museum. It's just awesome to really highlight the, when it comes to space and what we do around the world, really just the highlight of what happened here in New Mexico. And so it's great to see this. Worked a lot of satellite programs in the Air Force, stationed in other places, Florida, Texas, California, but as we all know, a lot of it is centered here in New Mexico. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Jarrett?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jared Fleetwood with the Legislative Council Service, joined by Aaron Bond and Roberto, the webcaster. Just really quickly, huge thank you to Department of Cultural Affairs, the museum, and the foundation for stepping up. We'd had a different facility in mind for this meeting, and that kind of fell apart, so they stepped up at the last minute. Huge thank you, and happy to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members. First of all, I'll start by saying Happy Veterans Day to the veterans in here. Thank you, sir, for your service. Veterans, thanks for your service. My name is Harry Garcia. I represent House District 69, which covers parts of San Juan, McKinney, Cibola, Bernalillo, Valencia, and Socorro counties, a third of the state. That's what I cover. And I'm an older Vietnam Marine Corps veteran. I was in Vietnam 6 months after I graduated from high school in 1968, and it's been a wild ride. It's a good ride, and we look forward to getting as much done for veterans, because my goal is veterans. I get criticized in the House of Representatives for so much veterans, but that's where my heart's at, and that's where it'll stay at. And this is the best committee of the whole city of New Mexico. I sit on transportation. I'm the vice chair of transportation, which is the backbone of our state, but veterans is the backbone of our country. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here today. I really appreciate you guys. This is my last round. I will not be coming back next year, but I will be back. Maybe in 2 years. We'll see what happens. But anyway, back to the committee, thank you very much for being a good committee. You're the best committee I've ever served for. And with that, we'll start with a presentation. Mr. Crane, if you would come up, please, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, okay, got you, thank you. Well, first of all, to each and every one of you, thank you so much for being here in Otero County. My name is Eddie Crane, and I'm with Healing America's Heroes. We created Healing America's Heroes in 2014. Okay, we established Healing America's Heroes in northern New Mexico in the Tierra Maria, Chama area. Was up there from 2014 to 2020 and serving veterans throughout the United States in northern New Mexico and along with the veterans of New Mexico. And 2021, we were able to make a deal with the state of New Mexico General Services Division for the state of New Mexico, and we leased a prison facility in southwestern New Mexico in Lincoln County, which used to be called, it started in 1969. It started as Sierra Blanca Boys Camp. The last group that had this was CYFD, and it was called Lincoln Pines Correctional Facility. And they were closed down in 2015. We made a deal with the state of New Mexico to lease a facility in 2021. We've got a 20-year lease on the facility there. We sit on 70 acres. We got 30,000 square feet of space. We have the capacity of a 48-bed capacity. We have a commercial kitchen. We, like I said, sit on 70 acres. We have a mile and a half of the Bonita River running through our facility. And so we are here establishing this facility as an outreach for veterans. It's a veteran outreach, veteran wellness center, and we are a recreational therapy program, to where we work with our veterans with their disability, whether PTSD disability, MST, TBI, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, and post-traumatic stress through fly fishing and horse therapy. Okay, we say piscatorial. When we say piscatorial is a whole gamut of fly fishing. That is actually making the rods, making the lines, creating the flies, doing all of that stuff with. That's a whole gamut of piscatorial. And then in equine, it starts as recreational. We don't do any trail rides. All we do when we work with our veterans, it's all recreational. It's all recreational therapy, and we have a very unique program that is established and set especially for veterans and our PTSD issues. One of the things I forgot to say is Representative Alcon and Representative Garcia, welcome home. You know, you guys were, I think you guys blazed the trails that I walked. You said you served where, Representative Garcia, what year, sir?
1968.
68. And you, Mr. Alcon, Representative Alcon?
69 to 71.
Yeah, see, you guys blazed the trails that I walked. I served with the 4th Infantry Division in Pleiku, Vietnam. So I know that I walked some of the trails that you blazed, so thank you, very much, and welcome home. And Representative Sariana, did you say you were a veteran? You're an Air Force veteran. Oh, well, welcome home. My God. That's excellent. I'd like to talk to you about our program for female veterans. Okay, we just had a very good we had 9 women from the New Mexico veterans of women veterans of New Mexico. That was the organization. We just had 9 women come down last week for our program. So yeah, we're doing very well. The move that we made from northern New Mexico to
Mr. Crane, just excuse me, Senator Pope is also a veteran.
all right, Vice Chair. I'm sorry. Welcome home, sir. Thank you.
No problem. I'm good.
Thank you, sir. Air Force, Army.
Retired Air Force 2018. So
Oh my
from
God.
Kirtland.
Well, welcome home, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. So you know
you.
all about Holloman then, you being Air Force.
Wasn't stationed there, but know a little bit about the work. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Wow. So there's so many. God, what are you guys doing when you guys retire? I got something. I got Healing America's Heroes we can run. But anyway, back to Healing America's Heroes. With our facility that we leased from the state of New Mexico, now our cost has dropped tremendously. In northern New Mexico, our cost per veteran was around $300 to $3,500 a veteran. Okay, now that we got this facility here, we have actually dropped the cost to about $1,500 per veteran. So that's something that we've really improved in, and we're looking forward to moving forward with that. Getting started is tough. We are getting some funding, and as we move forward, it's going to get better. It's all we can say is I definitely know it's going to get better for us. We got a lot of work to do. Representative Garcia and the whole board here, we're all here for our veterans. Okay, and that's, sir, you say that you're all for your veterans. I've known you since I started this in 2014, sir, and I've seen what all of you guys do for our veterans, and I really thank you. So, yes. We're open for questions, if anyone has any questions for us.
Before we go to questions, Senator, would you please introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'm Senator Shannon Pinto. I represent District 3, which is way on the other side of the state. Then welcome to our webcast people, and thank you for your presentation. And thank you for hosting us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions from the committee? Representative Block?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much for your presentation. A quick question about the capital outlay. I believe, did you guys go out for capital outlay this year? And I believe I may have given you some. I'm wondering, what's the status of your capital outlay dollars currently, Mr. Chairman?
Representative Block, As of today, we have not received anything. I did talk with our with the people that are doing our capital outlay, they said that they did get some of the money in, and I think we'll be having a meeting this week, sir, with that, and I'll be more than glad to let you know where we're sitting, later on this week. But as to date, we have not received any funding.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that takes a little bit of time. Unfortunately, I wish capital outlay was super quick, but you never know. You have to go through all these bureaucratic channels, but I hope it gets to you, and I will certainly continue to support you guys. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
Next, thank you, Representative. Next, we'll go to Vice Chair Pope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for coming again, Mr. Crane, and being here. I think the last time you were here was a few years ago when I was first kind of on the committee and talking about this program and just really the resources you provide to veterans, especially those who are suffering. Just a few questions. You talked about that cost dropping down to $1,500. How many veterans right now are you serving a year right now?
Vice Chairman, and Senator Pope, we to date, we have had, because of our fires that we had in Lincoln County from May 14th to July 14th, we had to cancel our programs that we had, and we're just now starting back up. So we have had a male program and a female program since July 19th. And we've had, but our goal is to have 10 veterans every other week. Okay, and then we're working into our also couples retreats as well, And so with a couples retreat, we are going to be having a therapist and counselors and marriage counselors and stuff like that. But we will still offer the recreational part of it as far as like the horse therapy program and the fly fishing program. Fly tying, basically. Really, the veterans are really enjoying the fly tying for some reason. We've got a great classroom. We've got a great facility that we're set up for that, and so we've gotten a lot of good response on our fly fishing and fly therapy, fly tying therapy. But the thing of it is, because of our fires, okay, we lost all 3 of our lakes and both of our rivers to the contamination of the fires. So consequently, we teach how to cast out there in the parking lot now, you know what I mean? But we still are tying flies. We're tying a lot of flies. One thing good about the fly tying session, when a veteran comes through this program and they apply for the fly fishing program, they get issued a fly rod and they get issued a fly tying kit. Okay, and that is theirs for the whole week that they're in the program. Okay, so when they start their fly tying, okay, by the end of the week, they go home with 5 flies, okay, that you actually tied themselves. And if you'll look at our program, the first picture that you see there, okay, this is a lady from Hobbs that came through our program. That's her first fly that she ever tied in her life, and she put her fingers there just to let you know that a woman can tie flies. And that's the truth. That she said, would you please put that in our picture? So I did. So anyway, that's what that's all about. Yeah, that was her first fly she ever tied. She ended up tying 5 more of those flies. But our programs that we've stuck to being recreational. One of the things for sure is that we primarily, our first and foremost interest is our veterans. Period. I mean, we are not we are not for the public. We are for our veterans. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, we're not out there for the public to come through our program. Okay, we are specifically for veterans. And I don't know how many other organizations in the state of New Mexico are recreational therapy programs specifically for veterans, but I guarantee you Healing America's Heroes is.
Thank you for that, and thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to clarify, and once again, I don't have a problem with this, but it says on the pamphlet that there's also first responder programs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Just
sir.
wanted to confirm. Okay.
Yes, that's, yes, because of the fires and floods in the area there, we had first responders, high water rescue teams as far as Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, plus so many people from the state of New Mexico. We had firefighters from Mesilla, Las Cruces, Sandoval County. We had hotshot crew from Bernalillo, from Hewlett, from Clovis. We had a very good firefighting team there.
And I think that's important to highlight. I know this committee is about veterans and our military and military families, but when we look at our first responders and what they deal with every day, right, they're dealing with a lot of trauma as well. So it kind of ties into what this therapy can do to help them and their families. So thank you for doing that. My last question is, and it's kind of the reverse with what we deal with a lot of programs in the state in a way. I'm happy where this program is located. It kind of gets veterans away. You're having couples retreats as well, and they can kind of just get away, right, and get that recreational treatment that they need. And it's something that's not this Albuquerque, Santa Fe centric location.
Correct.
On the other hand, I just wonder, has that been a hindrance as far as trying to get people in the program from Albuquerque and Santa Fe? And is there any thought of maybe having another location, not Albuquerque, Santa Fe, but maybe somewhere up north or another location just to provide more opportunities for veterans? And maybe that's not the case, and maybe it's just to have it in one location, but just want to know your thoughts on that.
Well, Vice Chairman Senator Pope, like last week, we just had 9 female veterans from Albuquerque area, come down for the program. We have done, we did a program in Hobbs in rural communities. Okay, we worked with the Department of Veteran Services, and we did a very nice program, actually a 5-day program in Hobbs, New Mexico, and we're looking forward to doing that again next year. As far as having a facility in northern New Mexico, that would, unfortunately, we moved from northern New Mexico. In the Chama area, the people were really good to us up there, but our hands were tied up there because of they only got a short time to make their money, which is like from May to September, October, November. After that, Chama's dead, So so that's when we were having our program. So they were trying to help us out as good as we can, but the expense was a lot more up there, sir, so consequently. But we will go anywhere in the state and put on a program. Actually, I'm in talks with General Herrera from Department of Veteran Services as far as doing remote programs through the state. And he also emphasized the same thing as both you and Chairman Garcia or Representative Garcia are saying about as far as northern New Mexico. And I agree. And I do got to say that the fishing is better in northern New Mexico, but it's not bad down here. You see our fish that we caught.
Great, thanks. I do remember that, you being up north and some of those issues. And so
Yes.
Maybe the alternative is really just finding the resources and transportation and advertisement just to get folks in the program. But just wanted to ask that question. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Senator Pope, on that, we had at one of our at our female veteran program in May, for instance. Okay, we had a woman fly in from Leavenworth, Kansas, a lady come in from Spokane, Washington, and a lady come in from California. And so they flew in to Roswell, and then we had to pick them up from there. So that is one of the issues that we're trying to address, sir, is how to help with the transportation to getting them there. But one thing about where we're located, sir, the elevation is 6,500 feet elevation. So the winters are not quite as severe, and not near as severe as they were in northern New Mexico. And because of our facility, we're able to extend into our winter programs. Okay, so at the November the 6th through the 10th is our last male program for the year. Then we're shutting down for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're starting up our winter programs in January, which will be guitars, piano, and arts and crafts. There, thank you. Arts and crafts, yes. Arts and crafts. So that'll be our winter program, and then we'll break off in the spring and go back into the horse and fly fishing therapy programs. So we're able to, so one thing about being down here is we're able to go year round, which is great. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just curious, what happened to your partner, Mr. Craig, former Representative Craig?
Bob Woolley.
Yeah, I mean Woolley. I'm sorry about Woolley. Where am I going?
Representative Alcon, actually, Bob Woolley's on a hunting elk hunt trip right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he did tell me to tell you guys hello, by the way. Yes, but yes, he's retired. He's on our state. He's on our board of representative. He's on board. He's on our board of directors. And but yeah, Bob is on an elk hunt right now.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This program seems like a really wholesome program. Mr. Chairman, but I do have a question. I know you're a 501c3, but what are the primary sources of your funding?
Representative De La Cruz, our funding right now is grants, fundraisers, donations. We did get some funding from the state as far as individuals, like the representative had their what's it called? I'm sorry. Capital outlay, excuse me. Yes, sir, they had their capital outlay, and so we were able to get some capital outlay funding. And it's coming in. I just got word Friday that this week will be coming in. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, who is your fiscal agent? Is there a local government? Who does that for you? Thank you.
Representative De La Cruz, our fiscal agent is the village of Ruidoso. Okay, and they're the ones it's being funded through or funneled through them, sir. Yes.
Thank you. And just a couple more questions, Mr. Chairman. So I'm curious how you determine the type of programming, because it seems really wholesome. I know I'd like to participate, but how do you say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that? How do you go there?
Representative De La Cruz, are you talking about our programs that we're doing, the horse and therapy program, horse and fly fish?
Yes.
The reason, okay, the reason that I personally chose fly fishing and horse therapy is because what they've done for me on a personal note. There was two reasons that we started Healing America's Heroes, and the first reason, of course, is our 22 a day that we lose to suicide because we served our country. That's 3,088 a year that we lose to suicide just because we served our country. The other was the medication that we're getting from the VA, and so that's why we've stuck to being a recreational therapy program, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, how do the vets pick? Like, they just say, oh, I'd like to do this, or I'd like to do that. How does that happen?
Representative De La Cruz, that's a good question, sir. Thank you for asking that. We have our own website. Okay, everybody, please go on our website, healingamericasheroes.org. We're very proud of our website, but we get people signing up through our website. We are also reaching out to different organizations, veteran organizations through the state of New Mexico, and the United States as far as having people come in. But we are working real closely with a lot of other veteran organizations, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, it sounds like a great program. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any more committee questions? Eddie, I've been talking to you since you started, and there's always
2014, sir.
issues facing everything that's happening. And what hurts, what you're doing, is there's a lot of other people that come into our committees and ask for money and stuff, and they do not follow up on what they're doing. Because there's no way of tracking it for number one, but you can see them come and go all the time, and you've been there for a long time, and my hat's off to you. Because I've asked you some tough questions down the line. Matter of fact, Senator Pope asked a question a little while ago that I was gonna ask, why did you move from northern New Mexico?
Yeah.
And you explained that pretty well, and that's good and well. Anyway, like I said, my hat's off to you. I fully support what you're doing, because you're for real. I got a question. What did you do for the fires during the Rio Doso fires, Eddie?
Representative Garcia, thanks for asking that question, actually, because I'm pretty proud of what we did. May 14th, the fire started. That was the last day of the female veteran event. We had 2 ladies that I needed to take to the airport in Roswell the next day on the 15th. The fire started at 11:30 in the morning. We saw our first cloud of smoke, okay? And by 7 o'clock that night, okay, we had 46 firefighting crew at our facility. We had 5 displaced family, which was a total of 11 family members displaced from the fire. Okay, we fed those 46 firefighters from May 14th to June 19th. Okay, and that's when the fires was finally under control. And then like June 20th to July 14th, we had high water rescue teams from El Paso, Bernalillo County, like I was saying a while ago, Missouri, Tennessee, and Arkansas. And we had a total of 26 there. We actually were feeding 3 meals a day, 90 meals a day to these people. And we ended up feeding a total of 5,400 meals from May 14th to July 14th. Yes. And we also housed the firefighters and the high water rescue teams.
Thank you very much for that, Eddie. I hope you got compensated for it. I really do. We don't have to answer that part of it, but I hope you got compensated for what you did. Like I said, you're for real. I support you. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this committee supports you. Because, I've been around for a while and we hear everything come and go, how good it's going to be. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really pan out. And at the end of the day, it kind of hurts your goals. Because everything somebody else does wrong makes everybody else look bad. So you understand that, right, Eddie?
Yes, sir, I sure do. Thank you, Representative Garcia. But one thing I got to say about Healing America's Heroes, we are just for the veterans. We're not there for the. It's hard for me to say that. We're not there for the public. We're there for the veterans, if that makes sense to us. And no disrespect to the public, but we're there for the veterans. I'm a veteran. And that's I don't know how many of these veteran or these organizations that offer their services to veterans, how many of them are actually veterans, and a whole lot of times, unfortunately, our veterans are looked at as a dollar sign. We're looked at as a dollar sign, and how can they make money off of us? And that's not where we're at. Thank you.
Eddie, on that note, what Senator Pope said earlier, first responders have the same problem veterans do, I was in the war zone, and some veterans are, some veterans aren't. It's just like your firefighters, police officers, and so forth. They all go through the same trauma, mental trauma that a veteran does go through. And then the Marine Corps, there was a saying, never leave nobody behind. And that's a perfect example of what you're doing there.
You know, Representative Garcia and Senator Pope, 40% of the first responders are actually veterans, you know. So they've already served and they're serving again, you know, it's, you know, and they, you know, like Senator Pope was saying, you know, these are issues that they address every day. You know, it's something they see every day. Tomorrow it's different, but it's the same thing. You know, you know, I got a lot of respect for the first responders, and I gained it more so during these fires and floods is what I saw, you know. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, no more questions being asked from the committee members. If you would do me an honor, or, you know, I just got news that Senator John Arthur Smith passed away. If you would all rise and in just a moment of silence, if you would. If you don't want, you can stay sitting down, but that's just respect for John Arthur Smith. Thank you, Eddie. We'll go to the next agenda as White Sands Missile Range update. Colonel Matthew Johnson.